From Career to Hustle, my journey in 2004. I started my hustle in the year 2004. I got dropped out of my stable career job at State Insolvency Agency of Latvia as a press secretary, where I worked by invitation and special rules, like I could come to work at 10 a.m., not at 8:30, how the rest of the clerks. I got invited while working at the Ministry of Justice of Latvia, where I worked as a head of public relation division, and got dropped out after a public interview in one of those days' top magazines, Clubs, where I flaunted with too high salary for a clerk and way too cool bluffing for my position and age. I was just 21 years old, but daily I filled up many important positions. I was working as a freelance journalist for one of the biggest newspapers of Latvia in those days, Kariga Rita Avisa, writing my articles in the late nights mostly about home improvements, mortgages and bank loans. And every morning I got up for the justice system of Latvia for 4 years. Those days, I managed somehow also attend university, however I did not graduate due to time lack and loss of inspiration. I was a young lad with pockets full of money, driving brand new Alfa Romeo 165 and moving into real estate from the money I earned working in 3 positions, sometimes 18 hours a day. Besides work in the Ministry of Justice, I also was a head of PR division at the Ministry of Children and Family Affairs. My car was with 5 VIP parking permits from the Ministry of Justice, from Cabinet of Ministers, from entrance into Old Town, from highest court and parking lot of the President of Latvia Castle. However, all this ended up after mentioned publication in Clubs magazine, after which I got dismissed from my work. So my background is political science. I didn't graduate, I just dropped out in the last year. It came partly together with my dismission from the job. Professors in university didn't like my publication either, and I got some headaches also in university from that, so I decided to focus on what's more important those days: money. Besides, I already had seen most of the ballets from the Prime Minister's box in the Latvian National Opera and had some crazy night parties at the VIP SPA Center of Cabinet of Ministers of Latvia to leave it all behind. I went more serious into real estate, made a few fake papers of previous high income before my balances went down to zero, and took a bunch of loans for businesses and properties. I purchased damaged and inexpensive properties for cheap, renovated them, and sold. At 22, I was already managing teams of builders, implementing my design in apartments and selling them for much higher prices. Most of the jobs in my properties are done by the company Bouvet.u. They still exist, and it's managed by a close friend of mine since childhood, Rudolph. Those were the days when I, at first in my life, was feeling the money. And I loved it. It was when I nearly got bankrupted, and to save me got rid of one of my properties. Attic apartment to renovate, which I asked help from all of my friends, and we did it in 3 days. I paid with sandwiches. That's all I had those days. All of my friends who participated in it still remembers it as the funniest joke in my Making the Million history. I sold that apartment and took out from the bank in the specially bought leather suitcase for that occasion. I had a full suitcase of cash. I was 22 years of age, and I felt like I will never ever work again in my life. I opened the art gallery Cherado Art Empire and had even a live python in it.